Nou ja, dis amper tyd om die boeke weg te stoot en te ontspan saam met die mense van Mini TV. In vandag se program Yogi's Space Race, Cats and Dog en VR Troopers. En as jy ooit gewonder het hoe die dag van 'n argitek lyk, bly dan ingeskakel vir Eduspectrum.
Well, it's time to get moving because here things are going to be grooving.
Yeah, boss, says Corner. And if you're still a bit unsettled about the career you'd like to follow, then stay tuned because Lai Ekaya will be showing you many different careers and one of them might just be suited to
That's
you.
right. We'll be taking a look at a day in the life of an architect as well as taking a squiz at Biz 96.
Yes, it will be giving away 5 copies of Hugh and Richard Clark's book, Successful Network Marketing, as well as giving away some fabulous software in today's competition.
And remember to stay tuned for today's Right Start as we find out more about the National Qualifications Framework.
They often say there's no time like the present.
Right, and there's also nothing nicer than receiving a present.
Oh, that's nice of you.
Now, have you ever schemed that architecture might just be the career for you? Well, last week we took a look at how to go about studying for this, and today we have gone behind the scenes to meet a real live archie to find out what this career is really about.
Life.
After last week looking at a career in architecture, we decided this week to take a look at a day in the life of an architect. We managed to find an architect who didn't mind us following him around for a whole day. And Eduspectrum got the inside line on what it really is like to be an architect. After the day was over, what we realized is that an architect definitely doesn't spend his whole day at the drawing board, churning out plans for houses and offices. You're about to see this for yourself. Everyone arrived at work by 8 a.m. The first event of the day was a quick cup of coffee. This time was spent catching up on what everyone had been up to the night before, and also included a few discussions on what lay in store for the day. After coffee eased everyone into gear for the day, each person moved to their workspace, and we immediately realized that not much time was available for idle chit-chat. Alfio spent the first couple of hours of the day moving around the office explaining what had to be accomplished, what were the latest developments on projects currently in progress, and making sure that everything was running smoothly. This time was also spent giving feedback on developments with clients, contractors, and new products which could be used to bridge problems being experienced on site. Oh, yes.
Life.
I don't understand.
10 a.m., out of the office, into the car, and off to site for a progress meeting. A progress meeting is a meeting held at the construction site at regular intervals. In the case of this residential development, a progress meeting is held twice weekly. The progress meeting is held with the contractor and often attended by the client. The purpose of the meeting is to check up on how the scheduled building plan is progressing. The architect is the head of the project and therefore needs to keep close tabs on developments on site. The progress meeting is also a way of ironing out problems that have been experienced in the actual building process, and most importantly, to make sure that the architect's plans are being adhered to. In the end, the client has been given a good indication of what the final dwelling will look like. It is up to the architect to make sure that the finished product is in line with the requirements of the client. From the progress meeting, we followed the architect to a site meeting at a commercial building site. The site meeting is different from the progress meeting in that it takes the form of a visit to the site and a general inspection of the building. Attention is given more to the quality of work. Again, the architect must make sure that things are running to plan and that the final product will be exactly what the client requires. From here, it was back to the office, a quick lunch, and then time to meet with the client to discuss finishes to her new home.
Slowly, what we've done since the last meeting we had, we just extended the formal lounge because you remember you mentioned it was a little small.
Yeah.
So made it slightly bigger.
A balcony on here, of the bathroom.
A balcony, yeah, I think.
Because I'd like to put a jacuzzi
There's
there.
actually a very nice view across there, so I think it
Can I
would
put a
work very
jacuzzi
well.
out there?
We can. Maybe what we do is we, instead of having this as a bath, we'll have it as a proper jacuzzi area. I think that would be quite a nice idea.
And then
Some of the timber cladding and materials and so on. So
Yeah.
So the ceramic tile we're suggesting to use throughout the house.
it's not slippery.
It's not slippery at all. In fact, we can actually use that in the patio pool area.
Oh, well, that would be a nice carry through
Yeah, so
from
it will
inside
carry
the house.
through. Totally.
I love this texture, but the colour is a bit strong.
You think it's too strong?
Yeah.
Look, there's a paler version of it.
Yes, that I actually prefer.
It's actually, this is even paler.
It's softer, you know, it's more feminine.
Yeah.
I like that feminine touch.
Dear. All right, perhaps we should do that.
The architect also needs to make time during his day to meet with sales reps from various building industries. He needs to keep up with the latest product releases and new concepts in interior design to give his clients the best possible advice when it comes to one of their biggest investments, their home or office. Trade reps also need to be seen. The architect not only needs to know what new products there are, but also how these products work, how they are made, and what stresses and strains these products can take. An architect will also spend time during his day either at the drawing board or at the computer. He is, after all, an architect, and someone needs to design the client's new home or new commercial development. We noticed during our visit that some architects enjoyed meeting with clients, choosing finishes and designing buildings, while others seem to enjoy spending most of their time with the more technical side of architecture. We found out that there's a place for many different types of people in this profession. After a long day's hard work, we managed to get the partners of the business into the boardroom and asked them what the most exciting thing about architecture was.
I think, Alfio, you're better qualified to answer that one.
It's diversity, first of all. I think one is always working on different situations, different opportunities, different projects. And that's very exciting. I mean, not every day is the same day. You know, tomorrow there's going to be another thing to resolve or to discover at the same time. So that is very exciting. We certainly don't have a monotonous kind of lifestyle.
You have to be, as in most professions, I suppose, be able to diversify. You know, one day you may be creative, but tomorrow you may have to be a manager. Later on that evening, when you're out with a client, you've maybe got to be a salesman. You know, you have to be able to adapt and diversify.